And yeah, well, it's still a little foggy in here from the bath and all that. And I'm just thinking, and maybe you should just turn the camera off while I'll just, get some clothing on and all that. But I was thinking, that, you have some time standing in the shower, right? And you just, meditate and think and all that. But, overall, in regards to the resurrection, we know there's two resurrections. There's the resurrection after the 1,000 years, and then there's the resurrection just before that, before the kingdom is established on this earth, and the mountain grows, and pretty much cover the whole earth. But in any case, that will of course be the kingdom of Yeshua, who is Jehovah and sent by Jehovah from the heavens. But in any case, and then you shall know that Jehovah has sent me, says Jehovah, something like that. Anyway, can't remember where it is in scripture, but it's somewhere. And, it's not word for word, but the closest that I can from memory. But, so I'm thinking here, we know that we have the sheep, right, and the goats. And they're standing in front of, the Messiah, the judge of the world. And he is saying to the goat, that, you didn't do these things for me, so, into the fire with you, pretty much. The question is this the first resurrection or the second resurrection, right? And I think it might actually be the first resurrection. Because, I'm thinking, in any case, you see a lot of a good amount of Christian sources that I've seen from the past believe that they were, including the New Testament, of course, believe that the resurrection in regards is when Yeshua returns. And that is, if that is so, that would be the first resurrection. And of course, Yeshua ruling the nations of the world from Jerusalem in these 1,000-year reign, which of course the Roman Catholics, reject, as they reject a lot of other things. Apparently if you believe in a 1,000-year reign, you're apparently anathematized. But, who cares about that system, it's of the devil anyway. Going away from God's law and corrupting everything. There we go, I'm getting dressed. I guess, it doesn't look clean actually, but it is. In any case, so we know we have the great white judgment, and I think that is the last. That is the last after the 1,000 years, if I remember correctly. I need to study up on and reread a lot of the things and all that. But yeah, I'm getting, every day, being into it. You're growing each day, and more puzzle pieces are coming together. But it does seem like that they believe that they would be resurrected at the coming of Christ. And that would mean the first resurrection, because of course Yeshua, to actually have a kingdom on earth, he has to come back, right? In regards of the real, the established kingdom that, where he has the, whole authority and all that. So, and we still have the fourth beast ruling in the world. That's Rome, by the way. And the Antichrist is the Roman emperor. Now, of course, Rome at some point will be destroyed, as I can understand it from scripture. But that's still future. Well, who knows? We might actually not be so far away from a lot of things going to happen, in quick succession. And that, of course, will be a good pointer that we are closing for, the end. So yeah, it's really noisy, this fan. I don't know what to do with it, I had hoped that it would actually I thought it would actually, be more, better than the thing that is in the computer. The thing is, if I wanted to replace the fan in the computer, I'm not sure the computer itself will survive, The thing is, you need to take it fully apart every single time that you need to get into the fan. Yeah, the exact place that you would like to go in the laptop is the exact place where they have, made it the most difficult to come to. It's just it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. It's typical bullshit. And are probably on purpose. Designed for making issues. So you just go out and buy another one, right? That's typical. Typical bullshit world we live in. Instead of just opening it up, they're going to waste your time, right? Sitting there and using hours, opening the things and, fixing it together. And who knows, if you forgot something, you need to reopen it and fix, it's just, anyway, whatever. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe the first, maybe it's the first resurrection where the believers in Yeshua will be resurrected, in regards to the goats and the sheep. And the goats, both being actually clean animals, But the goats are sent to the fire, and the sheep is, in regards to welcomed into the kingdom. So, we have multiple parables, and I pretty much think the goats are pointing to Roman Catholics. I think this, the Bible as a whole exposes this wicked system on so many levels, and that's why Rome don't want you to, they didn't want you to read the Bible, and they killed people, that read it in their own language, and they burned their documents and all that. And then they have this, what shall we say, this extraordinary, bullshit thing that they say that we made the Bible, It's bullshit. No. Your system went around and killing off all the people that actually had documents in regards of biblical. So yeah, it's just insane. These bullshit arguments that you hear from Roman Catholics, it's just all bullshit. It's nonsense. It's yeah. Again, I don't understand how anyone could be a Roman Catholic knowing what we, the information is easy accessible for things in regards to the Roman Catholic Church, history, and it should be, if one wants to dig a little into it without using these adulterated informations from the Roman Catholic itself, you think it could actually be a little biased in regards to how it's, it's anyway. So I think there's a good possibility that we actually being resurrected in the first resurrection, that's actually, now I might be wrong, because Yeshua does say the first will be the last and the last will be the first. So another option is that it might only be those that is in the tribulation period that is going to get killed there that will be resurrected, and then the rest will be resurrected at the end, I don't have, I haven't really figured that out yet, how it all fits together, I have an idea, maybe, but I don't have any solid evidence, I think, where I can say, okay, I'm sure that we are going to be resurrected at the first resurrection and all that. I don't know, maybe he meant something else in regards to the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first, but I think that could be an option in regards of, but maybe in regards of the first will be the last could be in regards to the Jews as well, in regards of, and the last shall be the first, I don't know, I can't even remember the context of it either at the moment, so whatever, I don't know, so yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. I think it's probably, it's a possibility that it's the first resurrection that we are going to be resurrected. At least there's a difference between the first and the second resurrection, it seems. So I would think that in regards to the goats and the sheep could absolutely be the first resurrection, where we see Yeshua, that would make sense, and then you have the great white throne afterwards in regards to the second resurrection. But I don't know. I was just thinking, we have the letter from Asia Minor, and they seemed to believe, they were sleeping, awaiting the resurrection. They didn't say that they were in heaven or whatever bullshit and all that, but that they were awaiting the resurrection. And we have a source from the Romanists as well in regards of the what is it called, the medical, what is it called? Can't even remember. I think it was Eusebius or something like that wrote that, the medical. Now, it's, where he talks about the Ebionites, the Nazarenes, and so forward, and talking about what they believe and what they don't believe, and why they're heretics, and so forward, and all that. Or why they believe they're heretics, and so forward. Any case, what is it called? I can't remember. Any case, when he talks about the Nazarenes, I think it goes into that, they also believe in the resurrection as we do and all that. So he also talks about a resurrection, not in regards of going directly to heaven and all that after we die. And we have Justin Martyr that says, if you meet anyone that says they're Christians and they think they're going directly to heaven and all that, don't even think they're Christians, something like that. It's like, okay, so how many believe today that they're going to heaven when they die? Well, a good amount, right? So anyway, but that's Justin Martyr. I can't remember for word, but that's one source again. Of course, we have Paulus, but one have to be very, very, very careful of Paulus. It's like you have to be on your toes, like when you're reading Roman Catholic sources. So you have to know that you might have some, you might run into some issues. So you don't take every word for good. You research and figure out and find other witnesses in regards of a doctrine and so forward. So there's a lot of problems with Paulus, but he goes into it as well, it seems, if I remember correctly, and talks about a resurrection when Yeshua is coming back. So that would also look like that he also would, point to a resurrection when he comes back, and that would be the first resurrection. And the letter from Asia Minor as well is wonderful, where they talk about the, resurrection as well. And I'm sure there must be a lot more sources out there that I haven't seen yet. And I know there's a lot of documents, from different, so there's a lot of things to read, there's not few things to read. There's a huge amount of things to read, The history of Josephus, for example, everything from Josephus, right, would be interesting to know more in regards to the Jewish perspective, right? And then, of course, you have all the Christian documents, right? And, things are showing up here and there, right? And, there's a lot, from the first 3 centuries and all that. And then, of course, there's all the documents that haven't been translated into English yet, and there's a huge amount of those as well. So we have an immense, what shall we say, immense, chest of information, full of information. Would be interesting to know what those English or what those sources that we don't have translated yet to English actually are saying. Maybe it has some gold nuggets as well. You never know. So yeah. Anyway, but we have lost a lot of documents for sure, as far as I can see. I think we can thank Rome for that. Now, of course, Rome might actually still have some of the documents down in her library, but don't really have access to that. Do I? No. Or do we? It's just no. We don't really have much access to that, right? I would, it would be wonderful if they could just, come forward with the material of Melito. I would think that, there might actually be something in their library, who knows? But they might not release it because it might actually hurt their institution. It's like the other document where, where a Jew were translating it, and then the Roman Catholic Church come out, oh, we also have that document in our, Yeah, okay, that's a little late, isn't it? It's a little late game, in regards of coming out with a document that you had, but you didn't, tell any, but now it's out anyway, so now it's no problem, right? Now you can come out and say, yeah, we also had that document in our library and all that. We had it, and all that. Yeah, but you never told anyone you had it, did you? No, you didn't. No, 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 no. Let's just wait for it to, be released, and then yeah, it doesn't matter now. Let's get some credits, right? It's just whatever. But Melito apparently was one of the people that was read a good amount, as far as I can see. There's a what do you call it? Where they say who hasn't read the books of Melito on Jesus being God or something like that. I can't remember it word for word. But it's like, well, I haven't. Why don't I have it? Because I don't know where the books are. They're pretty much lost to history, as far as we know. Who knows? Maybe they will come forward. And there's a lot of documents or books. That would have been wonderful to have, and yet they are lost. I think we can thank Rome for that, because you see, the Romanizers don't like these things. If there's too much truth, then they will point out that they will. It's like they will still call them out as Judaizers, right? We have two different seeds growing up in the world. We have the Romanizers and we have the Judaizers. And then you have to figure out which, if someone is promoting a lot of Roman doctrines and a lot of filthiness of Rome and all that, he might be a Romanizer. But of course, the Romanizers attacks the Judaizers, will say, oh, Judaizing, it's something bad apparently, right? Well, bullshit. It's utter bullshit, because Judaizers are not, they're just trying to stand for the law of God and the festivals of Jehovah and so forward, and stand for the truth. And the Romanizers works for Satan and the Antichrist, the Roman Antichrist, the Roman emperor, the Roman king, and so forth. And of course, they're growing up together and have been growing up together since the 1st century, pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much. But Roman Pharisee Paulus, I believe, was the one sowing the poisonous seeds, the darnel, the tares, as they also called, and all that. Of course, that's not to say that there's truth in his letters, but that's of course not the problem. The problem is the leaven that is found in his letters, And when people take his letters as the word of God, that's a problem. That's a big, big problem, because there's a lot of issues in his letters. They're full of them, full of issues. And yet people are still standing on him as, it's the word of God. Really? Have you tested him? Maybe you need to test him before actually, before standing on that, on his letters. Anyway, but yeah. And of course, one of the things that Satan is really good to is to twist things in the opposite direction. So he might actually say something that is true in some sense, but use it to his own advantage. For use truth that would be true if it actually would be turned 180 degrees in regards of the perspective. So yeah, it's just it's incredible demonic how Satan works. It's very 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 deceptive. He's very a slick, a liar and deceiver. He really knows how to do it. He's the master in regards of these way. And we should not underestimate him, and that seems to be the case that we're doing. Yep, this is coal, by the way. It's active coal. Actually interesting, because I haven't had any diarrhea after I began actually drinking this. Even if I eat fat, I don't seem to have any diarrhea problems while I've been on this, So that's interesting. I wonder if one could actually put it in the butter. Of course, sadly, the butter, it has sugar and all that, and I'm trying to keep away from the sugar and all that. But I wonder, because if one put it in the butter, you would get some every single time you use butter, right? And it's pretty nearly tasteless, So that's pretty good, you know. Whatever. I don't know. It's not really, when you drink it, it doesn't taste bad. Isn't it? I always have thought that would be a problem. Like, I've seen these people where they make something for, where they use coal and this and that to make and burn down into the wood, and it has coal in it, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. But it actually might be positive for, taking out things in the water that shouldn't be there. And even if you get some coal into your body, that might actually be a good thing, It's interesting, right? Because I would have thought that it would, oh no, you're getting coal into you. That doesn't sound good, right? That sounds, but it actually might be a good thing, And yeah. Anyway, it's dark. It's pretty dark, and your poop also becomes black, pretty much. Not that it matters, I guess, but I guess I've been taking a lot of it, by the way, so I probably shouldn't have been drinking so much, but as I understand it, it's not really and I haven't had any problems, actually, in regards of, blocking up or anything. I heard this thing that you might be blocking up if you drink too much and all that. I haven't really had any problems with that at all, and that seems to be another lie. And so apparently there's a lot of positive things in regards of coal. Yeah, who would have thought, But I'm still tasting it, and I might still have some problems with, whatever. Anyway, I saw an interesting thing here, like, let's see here, there we go. Of course, we could just go on my Facebook on the mobile, actually. So you can see it directly instead of, But I'm still trying to figure out in regards of a video player. I have some, I bought a video player, and actually I bought everything that he had. I was like, you got a cheap thing if you bought everything that he had. And it was nearly the same price for the things that I wanted to buy anyway. So I bought it all, and then you get half 6 months of support. Of course, that is pretty much done at the now, sadly. But in any case, I wonder what I was thinking about. What was I thinking about? I was talking about something. I think I lost it. Oh yeah, in regards of my video player and all that. So I bought all these applications that he has, and I don't really, I don't know if I'm ever going to use the rest of his applications. But the MP3 player and the video player was the primary things that I wanted to get away from YouTube and all the rest, and pretty much so if I make some concentrated information and just put it up on my website, no one can pretty much remove it. Of course, you never know in this wicked world what they can do, but maybe keeping under the radar if I have my own website. At least I'm not under the wings of YouTube, where YouTube can just pretty much annihilate my channel as they did with the last one. It's just incredible, just because of so-called hate speech, because they don't agree with the viewpoints that I have. That's utter bullshit and utter nonsense. And of course I was not the only one that was being what shall we say, terminated on it, but never got a single strike. It was like, the only thing that I got was a warning, and then I'm out. I've got a warning for some sexual thing and all that, because I was showing on a video how to actually block sexual things. And I understand that was a problem, it had some images that wasn't so good. But besides that, I hadn't a single strike. And I figured it was fair enough in regards of, sadly, it would have been nice if they just could have blurred it out, because the information was still good in regards of any case. Proof Rome is mystery, Babylon and all that. Yeah, it's just I actually saw a video and he's actually talking about this and that and proving that Rome and all that, and the Antichrist, and yet he goes into maybe one shouldn't be so. What was the use of why maybe one shouldn't be so. It could be another thing and all that. He goes in as like, that's bullshit, Give me a break, So he uses an English word, I can't remember, but it's like, one shouldn't be so, I guess, radical, but he used another word, so hanging on to that. That was actually my player here. As like the player that I bought, I didn't know he had this MP3 plugin, so it actually has this thing in the middle, and then you have rays around it, and it just reminded me of the false cookie Jesus of the Roman Catholics, and I'm just like, oh my, this, a dancing cookie, on the screen, it just totally reminded me of, yeah, well, you can see how it. Of course, I've changed the colors at that point. But I just wanted to see if I got it correctly. It's totally looks like the false cookie Jesus of the Roman Catholics. This is the pagan sun cookie, the solar cookie of the Roman Catholics with a sunburst around it and so forward. Yep, that's the false cookie Jesus of the Roman mystery religion of, the Roman mystery religion, pretty much, Anyway, and the head of this mystery religion, of course, is the Antichrist. But as you can see, it's the module itself looks a lot like, of course this one is a little darker and all that, and one could of course just have made it a little darker and all. It depends on how much light there is and so forward. But it just reminded me totally when I just looked at it. I was like, is there a way to change this, And nope, apparently not. There's only one module for MP3. So I'm going to ask the guy if there's, if that could be, maybe make another module or whatever that, so I could change it to something that is less, reminds you less of the false cookie Jesus, of the Roman Catholics. So anyway, I found this one. And in regard to the books, the book of the two Babylons, I haven't read them and all that, but I know they're attacked, by many people. And as far as I can see, in regards to the two Babylons, he is exposing a lot of the Roman Catholic doctrines. So let's say he gets something wrong and all that in the book. He still has some things that absolutely are true in regards to Roman Catholics. But it seems like Roman Catholics always use these things of saying that, it's not true and this and that, and it was all, just be careful. Anyway, so let's see, the false cookie Jesus of the Roman mystery religion hiding behind sheep clothing, sun solar worship. And this is ancient Egypt, Phaeacian sun disk amulet. Not sure what the Phaeacians is in regards of, but it's a sun disk amulet. I'm not sure why it would be an amulet. It looks like it's something to have standing. An amulet usually is something that you have around your necklace, right? Or whatever. But in any case, 600 BC. So this is an old thing, and I remember there's one of these guys that attacks the guy that made the two Babylons for, it's talking about that the Egyptians also had this cookie thing and all that, and then he was attacked by, they also had other things and all that than the cookie and all that, so. And then, try to discount his, I think it's bullshit pretty much. But anyway, and of course I've seen two other sources. One in regards of South America, when the Roman Catholics came over to Southern America. And then they behold in regards of the cookie thing, And of course these people in South America was worshippers of the sun, as I understand it. So it all connects again to in regards of solar worship, SUN, right? So and then we have another source in regards to the East, where they again, perceived something that looked very much like their own, yet these people were not Roman Catholics, they were pagans. Anyway, so maybe because the cookie Jesus is false, it's solar worship. But anyway, so I found this thing and I found it very interesting, remembering the thing that, I was searching on something else actually. I was searching in regards to, I think, Mesopotamia and Sumeria or whatever. I was searching different things in regards of, and then I just fell over this one, the Eye of Ra, again, going back to sun worship, right? And sun disk, what does it look like? Well, it looks like the sun cookie, right? The cookie of the Roman Catholics. And actually it looks like there's a moon, right? In regards of underneath it. Huh. So I think they call it Baal Hadad or something like that. I've heard some talk. I think that's from a Seventh-day Adventist in regards of Baal Hadad or something like that. I'm not sure where he actually gets that from. I guess I need to, look into that. But yeah, looks very much like the Roman Papist cookie, wafer god of theirs. It's pagan bullshit, all of it, in sheep clothing. I do wonder what fiancé means. Fiancé sun disk amulet. Again, I don't know what a fiancé. Fiancé, something like that. Let's see if I can remember correctly how it was spelled. Fiancé. Earthenware. Okay, decorated with colorful. Okay, so it's like an earthenware, but it doesn't really. It looks like metal, doesn't it? Fiancé. Fiancé. Well, it looks like metal to me, so I don't know in regards to earthenware. Looks, somewhat. It looks like metal to me anyway. Maybe it's clay. But it looks like metal, at least to me. I don't know. Because if it's clay, that's pretty, I would have thought it would have been broken, But maybe it's, I don't know. Whatever, either clay or metal, but it just looks like metal to me. It's very small, right? So, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Apparently I was looking here, we have pagan sun solar symbols for Sol Invictus and all that. And of course we have a lot of in regards of Nazism as well, but I've already found a lot of that already. But, you can just take one of them, right? One of the links. There's multiple links at that point. But there we go. Well, actually that was not, but anyway, you have two flags and both of them are, solar flags, represent, we have all this bullshit all around the world, see, take another one, see if we can find it's not coming up as it would on my, but anyway, I think this is from a postcard, a Nazi postcard. You can see the symbol, the sun symbol, and also, see here, we can get another, well, that's a postcard again, a Nazi from, I think it was from 1927, or I might be wrong, but anyway, the sad thing is that I can't see the other pictures, I know there was a lot of pictures every time on the computer, but apparently on the mobile, I only get one picture. But there's a lot of, of those. No, that's not. Let's try this one. That's probably the Japanese, yeah. Rising Sun, the innocent fascist symbol. Sophia Hamann, Kelly Suen. So it's the innocent fascist symbol, the rising sun, yeah. And the same thing we have in regards of Nazism, So it's all Roman bullshit, all Roman pagan bullshit. As the Bible says, that the Bible told, there's still the fourth beast in regards of Rome. Oh, yeah, we go in regards of clear as the sun on clear as the sun on a clear day. Do I even need to say anything? So this is, the Nazi symbol, the round cookie Jesus, representing with sun rays around it. Yeah. So, and there's so many of these symbols. There's so many pinpoints and all that. They knew this is said to be the first symbol of the Nazi. What do you call it? The Nazi. Now, of course, the quality is even worse when I'm on this mobile because Facebook apparently don't want to give me good quality images and all that. But this is a sun actually before they changed it into the the symbol thing. So it is a sun. It's a sun. The symbol is going back to, it's sun symbols, and we have Dave Hunt. Now he's dead. There was 3 people that was really standing on a lot of truth, and Dave Hunt was one of them. We had Dave Hunt, and we had the woman. She was exposing a lot of the things from India and all that, and then we still have one more that is actually still alive. She was a former witch, so she's the last one alive of those 3. And when I came out of the occult, those 3 was very I guess the last one that is alive was probably the least of the 3 that I saw about. And she also wrote a book that is called The Beautiful Side of Evil. I haven't read it, but any case, but these 3 were exposing a lot of things for sure, and of course the last one is still alive. We have First Amendment Radio, A Woman Rides the Beast. That was in regards of reading Dave Hunt's book. I think it's actually he's a wonderful. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a wonderful guy. Exposing the lies and speaking truth. Now, many people still, what do you call it? Many people still using Paulus and all that, and of course I would disagree with Paulus. In regards of, I see Paulus as a false apostle. So. And I just have to stand on that. But all Asia left Paulus according to himself. That's 2 Timothy 1:15. If you want to look at that, and then you can go to the Book of Revelation 2:2. Chapter 2, verse 2, and you can go from there and begin to test what Paulus is actually. But all Asia rejected him in the 1st century. And there might have been a reason for that. Here we have in regards to the new year of that's in regards to the false god of Janus, so interesting that his nose apparently changes as well, whatever. Yeah. So, yep, got it to work. I think the 150 songs now work, and if they do, I'll fix the player here. I'm still, I'm not sure how to do it overall because I have the MP3 player and then I have the movie player. But the problem with the movie player is in the mobile is that, it's going to open up now. The problem with the movie player is now it's a little slow when it's recording. I guess it's a little slow as well when it's not recording. But there's a lot of things to open, of course. But so this is a player, and it works, so should work anyway. I think it works. Might just be a little slow in regards of recording and all that.
Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You've got to first.
Sometimes when it's going from YouTube, it seems to, fix it twice in regards of. I'm not entirely sure what's about that, but in any case, as you can see, there's different things here that I'm still working on it and all that. Sunburn censored 190 ministry. That's I put those in. I'm still setting things up and seeing how it would, you know, these two buttons, I would have liked to remove, but it seems like there's no possibility of removing them. What happened now? Maybe I pushed. Okay. I would like to remove this one because there's no need of that actually. I guess maybe actually I can actually close it down like this now. Oh yeah, okay. That's one way of doing it. I guess I might be able to set the player up so it doesn't make it so. There seems to be something wrong here. You know, it seems to be making it bigger than it actually should. It seems to shoot over the tab here, and then I can't. Maybe it's if I can get the top to remove, and I can't. It seems. I would think that if the top were removed, maybe I could actually see the thing, or so I could close it down. But I don't know. But it's apparently too big. Something is wrong. But as you can see, it works. Just a little slow again when recording. I don't know. So apparently I can close it if I do like this. So that would close, and then I can actually, the idea is that you can actually, have it down there, and then you can read what is on the web page. But there's nothing on the web page at the moment. But the idea of, is to, be able to read here and then, whatever, see a little movie or listen to some music or whatever. But it seems to make it a little too big when I make it. Now, I guess the guy might have, because I think there's an update for this application. And I have an older version of it, because he haven't updated the full package of all. I guess that's the problem when you buy a full package and not only one application, is that you have to wait for the update. Well, it's just apparently he doesn't. I guess it must be a little problematic to also do that every single time he makes an update for an application. So I do understand that in regards of. That might be a problem. But it works in regards of sound and all that. There is another player in regards of MP3 player that seems to actually be more popular than the video player. But it's not entirely sure why, but it is nice. The player does have I would have thought that it might have supported more different. The problem is every time, then you have an AVI file, for example, and apparently AVI files doesn't work with this application. So you need to have it in a specific format to work, either MP3 or MP4. I'm not sure if it works with others, so I would have thought it would work with AVI because that's like an old format and all that, but apparently not. So one has to make the files into MP4 as well for them to work on this. So, and of course, that takes a little time. I guess if I had a modern computer and not an old computer, I could probably do it very quickly actually. But I only have a very old computer, and it's a little slow on those things. Let's see. But the player seems to be going above the thing, and I wonder if it's because I have because it removes this thing. When I do this, right, it removes it, and it doesn't seem to do that when I'm on the other one. So I don't know why it doesn't remove this bar up here, but it doesn't seem to do it. It just seems to still be there, and I guess it might actually be up there that has the.
Keep me, Lord, from mirthful hands, and preserve me from men of violence, who have planned to trip up my feet with the traps and snares of the proud. They spread out their net by the wayside and set their snares for me. Selah.
So there we have like a. I don't really need that either. I think it's, I like small things. I don't like all the graphic bullshit and all that, pretty much. That's not for me. So I would have liked to turn this off because I don't see any value in it. I know many other people might, but I like it clinical. I like it very clinical. I don't like all this thing and all that. And I'm even thinking of maybe I shouldn't even have images in regards to the playlist either. But I'm going to look into that. You would be, or maybe make it smaller in regards, or I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
I said, Lord, you are my God.
And one of the things that is also nice when you don't have YouTube and all that is that it can run in the background. You don't have all this YouTube bullshit where they, on purpose, do so you can't play it in the background. Of course, the radiation from the mobile is bad, so I wouldn't suggest anyone to do it. I remember one of the times that I did it many years ago, and I was playing a game, and I was, running from YouTube, something, music, I think, and I was really hurt. It was so painful in my leg, and but that's another story. But I had to turn off the internet, and and when you're playing a game, you can actually, you can endure a lot of pain, because you are, into the game, right? And I did that in the beginning, but yeah, it just became worse and worse. It's like knives, pretty much, in the leg itself. So yeah, absolutely, radiation from the mobile absolutely have an effect on us. And maybe it's the fungus in my body or something like that. I don't know, but it was absolutely, at the place where I had my mobile, on the edges and yeah. So absolutely, there's so one have to, so I wouldn't advise anyone to live stream from on a mobile, So
only by lies, burning coals that fall in the fire, into depths from which they'll not rise. May liars not rule on the earth.
So as you can see, it works pretty good. Again, I would have liked to have these two buttons away, and of course it there seems to be some problems in regards of the, where I can't lock it down to, so I need to look into that. And maybe if I could make these things smaller. The problem is now that it takes the image, and put it in there, and there's not really any image, as you can see. But that would be, where usually the image is. Then we can take something else. Let's take a mixed playlist. I think there's some there. And as you can see, there's pictures at the left. And of course, that's the point, right? But I really wonder if that is necessary, because, a little more space would be nice, Do I really need to have these, pictures? I do get it. It's nice to be able to see a little picture of what it is, but is it really necessary, Because it would make, if I could make like half the size or something like that, you have a lot of space here, right? That is pretty much unusable. Of course, this one do have a little more, but I would just need to focus on being less than, So but anyway, I don't know what would happen if there actually was more information. If it just goes out of the, I wonder. It seems like it's just making a. I should try to put some more information and see what happens. So that's a woman ride the beast. We have the Gospel of Luke in Hebrew. It doesn't seem like it follows the Gospel totally, and That's of course but it has Hebrew with English undertitles, so that was the idea. I'm still trying to learn Hebrew, right, and normalize that and so forward. But when you have like this, and you have 150 songs, well, you could cut a lot of space if you could actually halve that. Then you could have 6 videos instead of 3 videos, right? It would make it a little more, and still, half of it would still, it would still be possible to pretty much hit the right thing. It wouldn't be too small. So yeah, I need to look into that and see if I can, make it more usable. I guess in regards to search for video as well, but of course that will, the bar will still be there because we have the 2 others. So that wouldn't give more space, Of course, it wouldn't get more space if I remove these either. But it's just, a thing that I don't really think it's necessary. It's too, we want to keep it simple, right? Or at least I want, as simple as possible and as less, as little bullshit as possible. That's always what and no advertising or commercials or anything like that. So I don't understand the idea. Of course, it's nice to be able to now to actually close it down, right? That's nice, but that seems that's just an error. I think that I should be able to fix as time goes. But overall, there's not really a use for this, and neither on the computer. Because if you want to see it in full screen, you just push on this one, right? So, and that would be the option pretty much. And there you go.
Arise now, O Lord, lift up your hand. Oh God, who remembers all the poor. Why do you stand far off, O Lord, hiding yourself in our times of distress?
By the way, he's a Roman Catholic, sadly. Hopefully he will get out of that. And here we see again, you see three videos, nearly more than, actually nearly, 3 1/4, I think it's called. So again, if I make them into half, make them half the size, and also if I can make this, even if I put an image on it, if I even made it even smaller, you would maybe have more space in regards of text in any case. So if I made it like 1/4 of the size, I don't know, maybe it's too small to see anything. I don't know. Or maybe just totally remove it, then you would have, again, more space. We have a call from someone.
Call from +45 32 72 53.
Oh well, I should probably call back. Anyway, that's all for me. Have a good one, all of you. I'll stop now and call back.